Hey folks, welcome back to the Bulletproof Garage. Scott Walters here, and I'm here in Central Texas with my buddy Will, and we are trying to resurrect this glorious beast right here. So this is a Cat 977H, as in hotel. These were built from 1960 to 1966, and this is a big piece of equipment. Just one problem. It's not running or moving, but here's the kicker. If we can get this thing out of here in 3 days, we can have it for free. All right, so we don't know much about what's wrong with it, but we're gonna figure it out. All right, so let's get started. Okay, let's take a look and see what we got. Yeah, we got an enormous bucket here. It's seen some use and some wear, but it looks like it's in pretty good shape. I haven't given a detailed inspection of the undercarriage yet, but just from what I can see right here, it doesn't look terrible. You still got the spring cover here on the side, and you've got bolt-on sprocket segments back here, and that's good. And this is a 977 Series H, as in hotel, and we'll talk about what that means here shortly. Let's see. We haven't found a serial number yet. And let's see what's behind door number 1. All right. Well, some Rotella. Okay, over here on the right side of the tractor, a few things to point out. So this side does not have bolt-on segments, but the sprocket actually looks pretty good. The teeth are not, they don't come to a knife edge there. So, but obviously once these wear out, then you've got to replace the entire sprocket since you don't have, again, the bolt-on segments. It's not set up for those. Okay, so as you can see, there's no tension in the track on this side, right? And that's a bad thing. So it looks like somebody was trying to add some oil to the tensioner, and I'm wondering if that's why it got laid up. If that's why it got laid up, then that may be problematic getting it out of here, but that's not going to be a terribly difficult fix. So more to follow on that. All right, so the engine here is a 6-cylinder turbocharged diesel. It's the Delta 333. These same engines were used in a lot of different equipment. They were used in the D6s as well. And if I'm not mistaken, the undercarriage is based on the D7 undercarriage. Okay, so let's check the oil and see what we got. All right, well, we've got some oil. Full line's about right here. Nice and dirty, and yeah, it says check with engine running, so check with engine running. It should be down here. So we'll obviously have to check with it running, because once you've got oil circulating throughout the engine, the level's going to drop significantly. All right, so we'll check that later. All right, let's check the radiator. It's wet in there, but I can't see any evidence of radiator fluid, so we might have to top that off before we run it. Okay, let me orient you to what we got here. So this is a lever shift 977H. The later models 977 hotels were pedal steer. All right, on this one, your foot pedals are just brake, and then you steer with the levers. So this is a power shift machine. So it's got 4 gears. So it's got, so this is reverse over here to the left, neutral 1 and 2, over to the right, neutral 1 and 2, and then but I say 4 gears because you've got a high-low lever over here as well. So you've got 1 and 2 low and 1 and 2 high, both in forward and in reverse. All right, so your throttle's right here. This is an electric start engine. So you've got glow plugs, all right, and a starting switch here, and you control the bucket right here. All right, and I've got dipsticks out the wazoo down here. You know, I'm not sure what they're all to, but let's go ahead and check them. Is that a dipstick or is that a breather? That might just be a breather. Okay. So dipstick number 1, boy, that fluid looks nice and clean. You know, that looks like, I'm going to say that's probably transmission. And we've got another dipstick there. And also clean fluid. It says check with engine running, but clean fluid, and it's up to the full line. All right, let's talk about the batteries. So this is going to be a 24-volt system, and your batteries are hiding right here. All right, so those are just, you know, truck batteries. It looks like those are wired up for 24 volt. So I hope those are enough to get this thing spinning over. They're dead right now, but we got a jump pack and we've also got a battery charger. All right, so next thing, let's check the fuel. All right, well, there's no dipstick here. Let's see if I can get down in there with that. Oh man. Oh no, yeah. So we've got about, I don't know, 6 inches of fuel. So however much that is. So that should be enough to get us going. Yep. That looks like it'll come. Outstanding. Oops. Let's just set it so it'll sit right here. Actually, we probably want it off. Okay. The tractor. Let me see. When did I hand it to you? Okay. Oh. Track is moving. Yeah, take your time. Yeah. Right. Okay, so we're at the top of the engine. Will and I just removed the top cover here, and in doing so, we had to remove the exhaust stack. Made me a little nervous because I didn't see a bucket on the stack, so water could get down there. So I'm just going to stick a scope, and look, folks, I can stick my hand down there, and I can feel the turbo wheel, and it turns. And I didn't feel any debris down there, so that's good news. And obviously, since I've got the scope out already, let me see if I can get a good shot of it. My skills here are not the greatest, but again, there's the wheel, and there's not a mouse nest or anything in there. All right, so we're going to proceed. Okay, so we've got the jump pack hooked up over here. So there's a few truck batteries in here. They're not, big diesel batteries, and we've got the jump pack hooked up on 24 volts. And at this point, I'm not going to try to run the glow plugs. I'm just going to see if it's going to spin over. So we've got the key on, and let's just see if she'll spin. Whoa, whoa, whoa! She almost popped off. All right, well, let me give the glow plug some juice here, and we'll see if she'll pop off. All right, I gave the glow plugs about 30 seconds, so let's see if she'll fire. Okay, folks, well, this may go down as one of the easiest rescues ever. I mean, it wanted to start up. I mean, it was ready to go. I didn't have to bleed the injectors. I didn't have to do anything. We threw the jump pack on and it started right up. So, I mean, that's a testament to the quality of these old Caterpillar machines. So, all right, let's talk about what the deal is. So we're at a 130-acre ranch. We're not too far from Fort Hood, or as they call it today, Fort Cabezos. The ranch is being sold, and the gentleman that's here is not the one who was operating any of the equipment. He's not a heavy equipment guy. He's a good dude, all right? But he wasn't sure what was going on with this, but he was told that it wasn't working, and he's not quite sure why. I think the wasn't working thing is probably going to be the tensioner. But as you've seen, you know, it moves forward, it moves backward. The bucket works as well, so it's free is what he told us. All right, so I hope that now that it's running, he doesn't back out of that deal, because you know, he may be seeing dollar signs. But the kicker is, though, and look, this is not YouTube drama. He's got somebody coming by to take pictures of the ranch, and this is right in front of the ranch house. And so it'd be a little bit of an eyesore, or I guess somebody wanting to buy the property would want to know if this came with it or not. But today is Sunday, and somebody's coming to take pictures on Wednesday. And so now is, you know, I don't have a buddy. I don't have a low boy. I don't have a buddy with a low boy, and so now trying to figure out if we can get a low boy in here in the next 48 hours to get it out of here is going to be interesting. But this being free, it kind of frees up a little money to pay a few $1,000s to have somebody haul this a few hours away. Okay, so great success so far. We've still got a lot of work to do. I think next we're going to tackle the tensioner and see if we can't diagnose that. But wow, what a great start, literally and figuratively. Okay, let's keep moving. Okay, so we're at the track tensioner right here. So obviously here's your spring and your grease fitting. So you pump grease in and it tensions the track, just like we used to do in the Army on the old 113s and Bradleys and such. So it was leaking initially when we were pumping it up, but we just tightened these bolts down a little bit, and now we've got progress. It's really slow, but as you watch, that the ram is coming out and the track is very slowly getting tight. All right, so that's good news. So that means that we may be able to do some operating here soon. I'm going to take this. This is my good grease. right, folks, I don't know if you could tell from the video, but man, it was fighting me a little bit. Yeah, we made it a little loop here, but the left steering clutch is just barely working. The steering clutch and or brake is just barely working. So it's not, I mean, it works well enough to load it up onto a lowboy, but I'm going to have to do some digging to see if stuff is out of adjustment or if it just needs to be operated for a while. You know, to kind of free things up. Or yeah, I didn't even check the fluid level, so it might be low on oil. So again, just a fantastic day. Lots more work to do. So I think we're shutting it down, and we're gonna go work on getting the lowboy lined up to come and get it. All right. So wish me luck. right, folks, so that's it. We're here. We're at my buddy Will's ranch. Will is kind enough to offer me some parking space, and man, it's beautiful out here. I don't know how well you can see from the footage, but we've had some rain here. The wildflowers are blooming, so this is just about damn perfect. Now let's back up a little bit. This is going to be a short video, and we didn't spend a whole lot of time on the front end of the video explaining exactly how the deal went down. So let me explain it to you. So I spent a lot of time on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, and I'm out and about a fair amount looking at heavy equipment. And Will and I have recently gone to look at what did we look at? A John Deere 450, and then we went and looked at a D6. Both of them were a little bit too far gone for my taste, and so those are obviously dozers. But I'm always interested in something vintage yellow, and doesn't have to be a dozer. So when this thing popped up, it was 2 hours away, popped up on Facebook Marketplace, and the asking price was $4,000. And I emailed the gentleman, and he's a good guy, but he didn't know anything about this piece of machinery, right? He was brought in to basically liquidate everything that was on this 130-acre ranch. So he's not a heavy equipment guy. He's not the guy that was running it. All he knew is that there was something wrong with it, right? The guy that was running it said, hey, there's something wrong with it. Man, the bugs are bad today. And so he listed it as inoperable, all right? And so, $4,000 is a fair amount to pay for something that's not running, and you don't know what's wrong with it. But I kept in contact with him, and I ended up calling him up, and I said, hey, his name's Brett. Hey, Brett, when do you need this moved by? And this was on a Saturday, and he said, I need it out of there by Wednesday morning. And I'm like, okay, wait. So we got an inoperable Cat 977. We don't have any idea what's wrong with it, and he needs it out of there by Wednesday morning, and this is Saturday. So, and I guess he probably heard the hesitation in my voice, and then he sweetened the deal a little bit. He said, look, you're the only guy that's been really serious about this. I mean, I'm assuming he gets, 500 of those, is this still available messages, right? But he said, you're the only guy that's really serious about it. So if you can get it out of here by Wednesday morning, you can have it. And so I called up Will. Will is always up for an adventure, man. And Will said, let's do it. And so we did. So we showed up there on, let's see, I forgot what day it is today. We must have showed up there on, when did we go, Will? We went on Sunday. We went on Sunday, and we got it running. And then yesterday, which is Monday, I called around and I found the low boy. It cost us, so it was about 125 miles, so about 2 hours and change to get here. Cost me $1,800, which didn't sound unreasonable, especially since this was free. So anyway, and that was an uneventful trip, other than it was a little adrenaline involved in crawling this sucker up on the back of the lowboy and getting it off. And the lowboy operator says that, that actually of course the trailer does decouple, and I could have just driven it up and on off the front of the trailer once he decoupled it, but I guess he didn't want to do that. Whatever the case, we're here, and it's done, and it's free. And, I say it's free. It cost me $1,800. And so I'm real happy about having myself a free Cat 977 hotel. We figure it's probably about a 1962 or so, vintage, 63, so it's an early-ish 977 hotel because it's still got the lever steer. The later ones had the pedal steer. So what's going to happen from here? I'm going to go back home, and I'm going to kind of study the pictures and start figuring out what the next step is. Obviously, there's going to have to be some maintenance done. I have no clue anything about any of the history of this tractor. And I mean, I know it's the steering clutch on the left side is not great. It seems to be working better now that we've driven it a little bit, but it's still less than optimal. But the tractor is it's not ready to operate as is. So so that'll be the next step, is to get it running and well, not running. It's already running and moving, but to get it where we can actually do some work. All right. All right. Hey, before I sign off, a little bit of housekeeping. So the D7 dozer that I recently did 3 videos on, check out the channel if you haven't seen those. Man, that was a lot of fun. But Will and I decided to walk away from that because that tractor was just too far gone. You know, it probably needed $20,000 to $30,000 worth of work, in my opinion, to be a really capable machine. And while it would have been fun to do it, wouldn't have made a whole lot of sense. So we did walk away from that deal. Now, coming up on the channel, y'all been watching. A lot of y'all been watching the video on the 8N, and that's Will's 8N tractor, and we've got more footage coming up of that. So that's probably going to be the next video. And of course, we got more Project Brownie. That's a 1991 F350 crew cab, long bed, 7.3 ZF5 ranch find diesel dually project. All right, so more to come on that. And some shout outs. All right, a shout out to Adams Select Transportation in Liberty Hill, Texas. Chad Adams, that's who hauled the 977 over here for us and did a great job at a reasonable price. So shout out to him, and a huge shout out to my buddy Will, who's my partner in crime and ready, willing, and able to hop on any of these harebrained schemes or endeavors that I find myself on lately. And all right, so that's it. So folks, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I really, enjoy interacting with y'all. So, here it comes. Number one, if you got a comment, post up a comment, all right? Just saying hi, just checking in. Hey, Scott, you screwed this up. Or, hey, Scott, what about this? All right? But I love to interact with y'all, so post up a comment. 2, look down below, all right? And there is that thumbs up icon. Go ahead and click on that, all right? That's the like button. Doesn't cost you a penny, and it helps out the channel. And number 3, and maybe most important, poke around some on the channel. I've got several dozen videos up at this point, and I guarantee that you will find something else that you like. All right, signing off, and we'll see you next time on the Bulletproof Garage.